Hey, welcome along to this week's little soundtrack and extra YouTube show. Sorry it's a little bit late. There are various reasons behind that, which I'm not going to bore you with. What's been really nice about coming back with almost our second series of this little show is that what I can kind of call the shots as to what we have in the show. And what's been nice since we came back last week and we focused on Summerland is that cinemas have opened. Kind of with a restrictive kind of program, both in terms of celebrating, an amazing wealth of cinema that goes before, but some cinemas in particular are really getting behind new film, and new independent film, which is what I wanted to really try and focus on with this show over the next couple of weeks. So this week, it is an absolute treat to bring you Shannon Murphy, who is the director behind the fabulous Babyteeth, which is going to be out in cinemas as of this Friday, which I think is the 14th of August. And Shannon is an Australian director. She's an actress, so she definitely brings that kind of wealth of experience in front of the camera with her to this project. She's done loads of different things. Most recently, she's directed a few episodes of the current series of Killing Eve. But what she's done with this film, which is about this young girl called Mila, who is very poorly, seriously ill teenager. And it's about her and her family kind of navigating the illness and the possibility she's going to die. And Mila is played by Eliza Scanlen, who some of you may well have seen playing Beth in Little Women. She's phenomenal. The cast in this is extraordinary. You've got Ben Mendelsohn playing Henry, her father. You've got Essie Davis playing Anna, her mother. And you have this wonderful young actor called Toby Wallace, who plays Moses, her kind of love interest in this. Amanda Brown's done the score for it. And it's written by Rita Kalnejais, I think is how you say it, or Kalnejais. Apologies for the bad pronunciation. And it's based on a play that she wrote, and then she wrote the screenplay. Anyway, it's a beautiful film. It's you'll see some clips, you'll see the trailer in a second as well. But I think that Shannon's done a brilliant job with the subtleties and the emotion of this film. So if you feel comfortable going to the cinema, go and see Babyteeth at the cinema, because it is a fantastic film. And you will feel absolutely rewarded for making the effort to go. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the wonderful Shannon Murphy talking about her, feature film debut, I believe it is, at Babyteeth.
Hey, I've just been kicked out of my house. I'm trying to put some money together. I hate to ask you, you just seem like a really nice person.
How much? I only got 50.
50? That's too much. I can't.
If I give you 50, you have to do something for me.
How old are you, Moses?
I'm 20.
16.
20. I'm 23.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
You make a habit of befriending girls that are significantly younger than yourself.
Oh my God!
Mila's obsessed with that boy.
She's a smart girl.
Mila, that boy has problems.
So do I! What are you looking at? Will you come to my school formal?
Do you have to wear a suit?
I don't think so.
I'd like to wear one.
I'll do anything. Can he please stay?
Mila, he threatened me with a meat prong.
You threatened my wife with a meat prong?
I don't want to hurt you.
So don't.
Moses! Henry! Mila should have the world at her feet right now.
You think something in you has changed?
I have no idea what you're feeling.
When I met you, it was like you weren't scared of anything.
I don't think the world would be this big or weird.
This is the worst possible parenting I can imagine.
Oh, that's very cute.
Hey Shannon,
Hi.
how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. Thank you.
Not at all.
Congratulations on Babyteeth. It's Yeah, it's stunning. It's extraordinary. It's absolutely beautiful. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you very much.
Can we talk about, I guess, kind of going back, if you don't mind, start with and talking about, I guess, the connection that you had or your reaction to the story, and whether you'd I don't know if you'd seen Rita's play, or how you kind of first kind of came in contact with the story and the narrative, really.
I hadn't seen the play, which is so weird because I began my theatre career at Belvoir Street Theatre where it was on. And I honestly see pretty much every show they do. So I can't remember why. I must have been working on a TV show or something. I completely missed it, but I'd heard really wonderful things about it. And I've known Rita from afar because she was also an amazing theatre actress. And I'd seen her in projects and just thought she was incredible. But I'd never read anything of hers. And when it came to me, it had been already adapted by her, and they had been workshopping it and, you know, getting funding and everything for about 6 or 7 years by then.
Wow.
When I read it, yeah, it took a while because, you know, it's a really difficult film to describe without it sounding like a lot of other films that it's just not. And, you know, I think people are often afraid of some of the content, but she handles it in such an incredibly unique way. And so I read it and immediately just knew that it would be the perfect first feature film. And just that also the fact that I came from a theatre background, it just felt like kismet that, you know, we had both begun in the theatre world and were both transitioning at the same time into film. And that I just understood it. And I think, you know, it did help in some ways that I understood the world where it was created at Belvoir, and knew the kind of ramshackle vibe that theatre is so known for, and how the energy of that could still translate without it by any means feeling like a play. But it didn't on the screen, on the page anyway. She'd already done that.
It's so there's such a naturalness to the film in terms of the performances, you know, in terms of the reactions and the space that things are given and the time that conversations are given and things like that. I just think the pace of the film it's such an important, I think, element to this story. And I wanted to talk to you about the kind of casting side of it as well, because you know, you have all these pieces of a puzzle, the cast that make up, you know, this kind of full puzzle, and there's just, it's just pitch perfect, really. It's you know, the sort of the tenderness, the ripple effect out to all these different, you know, individuals from this, you know, from this girl's experience. It's just beautiful. Was the casting an easy side to it, and kind of where did you start knowing that, you know, the relationships between all of these characters, however small or in depth they were, was so important?
Yeah, I found casting Henry and Anna easy.
Yeah.
Essie had already been considered for Anna when a previous director had been attached. So when she was brought up to me as a possibility, and that she'd already, you know, wanted to do the film, for me that was just such an easy yes. I couldn't see anybody else doing it. And then Ben was interesting because, you know, he was someone that we knew would be really an incredible Henry, but he also hadn't come back to Australia since Animal Kingdom to do a film. And we knew that was going to be a really hard sell. Well, that's what we thought. But his agent, you know, his Australian agent really championed the project. And, you know, she knows him well and she knows what he's going to respond to. And so he read it and was completely on board after reading it. I had this interesting experience where I watched a Sia concert where he danced in it, and to this song "Breathe Me," and it was so such a distressing sort of dance of pain actually to watch, and I was in tears watching it. And I remember thinking that it so truly represents Henry's struggle internal struggle. And I thought, wow, he will be able to bring so much extraordinary pain to that role underneath this, you know, mask that Henry wears so well. And then I became quite obsessed with the idea of him. So, you know, there were moments where, of course, it's touch and go with an actor like that because they're so in demand, and will we ever get them there? And I just remember saying to myself, until I see him walking towards me, when we're in pre-production for his first, you know, rehearsal, I can't get too excited. And I just stayed calm about it. And then I just, I remember that day, and it was so hot and sunny. It was like January in Sydney. And I remember seeing him come, and I thought, God, this is the moment. Ben Mendelsohn is here and he is doing this film. It's wonderful.
Wow. I think he doesn't, I feel like he doesn't, I mean, everybody knows he's brilliant, you know, because we watch him in so many, and the diversity of what he's able to do as well is just extraordinary. You know, I was just watching Captain Marvel again with my kids, you know, and even, you know, all that side of it as well, you know, and I just thought he does not get the recognition he deserves as an actor and what he brings to every performance that he's in.
But I think always the best ones don't.
Yeah, you're right.
And I sort of think,
and they don't want it as well, in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of what makes them the best in a way too, because they're always still striving, you know. But with Ben though, you know, he's been doing it, and he's got such a wide range of what he can do. And I think, you know, he's been known for playing these really sort of dark and brooding characters over the years. But in Australia, we know just how hilarious he is, and that comedy is his forte. And what I love so much is that great moment when Moses is broken in the house and Ben's doing like these insanely big gestures. And I remember on the day going, that is a really full-on choice, actually, physically. But I was like, it's so good and it's so funny. And I just love that actually all of them, you know, and I did push them in this way as well, but they are such physical beings. And I loved that. I loved that their physical language was as strong as their verbal communication. And I think that's what makes it also very, very funny to watch.
It reminded me of almost like, you know, when a bird almost gets trapped in a house and its wings kind of almost, it was almost a bit like that kind of, but don't quite know how to get out of here, or, you know, kind of that sort of flapping type thing. But great. And Eliza, I kind of, you know, was blown away by seeing her in Little Women, and just kind of, who is this woman? She's extraordinary. And God, the complexities that she brings to Mila's character, and almost the different characters that you see within Mila as well. It's just so, it's really, and I think this is a film that so many people will get so many different things out of as well.
Oh, I hope so, because that's the kind of cinema I love, you know, when you can keep thinking about it for a long time and it stays in your bones. And I feel like Eliza has an incredible capacity to do that to people in exactly the reasons that you were putting forward. You know, who is she? And I mean, Eliza is a bit of an enigma like that. She can do so many different things and is such a myriad of feelings and intellect, and she's just got such a capacity to do so much, and I feel like she's always learning, and she's always talking about that, and she will continue to evolve in ways that will surprise us for a very long time, you know.
And where on earth did you find Toby Wallace? Oh my God, I want to see him in everything now. He's almost like the kind of the next, you know, sort of younger generation version of Ben, almost, in a way. It's kind of,
Oh, he would love to hear that, because one he really looks up to. So, you know, that was so great of him too, because he was like, oh, like, I really love the idea of working with Ben, but it's also kind of terrifying because he's an idol of mine. But that was great. Like, Ben cut through that so quickly, you know. And, you know, 2 days with Ben and you're just like, Ben, shut up. No, he's not like that at all. But, you know, he was able to just go, oh yeah, right. Like, I can also be friends with my idol. He's a lot of fun. So they got along great, and I think had a lot of respect for one another and what they were both doing. But Toby, he's really original, and he's such a strong and committed performer. He thinks very deeply about his roles, and he loves direction and understands direction because he wants to be a director himself one day. And I think he's really got he's been working since he was quite young. So he has incredible work ethic and an understanding of the camera. I mean, Ben is on another level as well when it comes to that. He'll sometimes be going, do you need a bit more of that? Because that's where he knows exactly what you need. And he's incredibly helpful at all times with that. But no, Toby is just electric.
I wanted to ask you something. Will you come to my school formal?
I'm a bit old for it.
No.
Do I have to wear a suit?
I don't think so.
I'd like to wear one.
Oh my God! My heart's beating so fast, I was like having a heart attack or something. Feel that?
I loved your music choices as well in this, both in terms of Amanda Brown's score, but then also, the kind of the existing music that they used in the film as well. Was that a fun side to it to kind of get to explore, with it being your first feature, and the kind of the length of that's required, I guess, as well, and the amount that's required?
Yeah, look, Amanda Brown I've worked with before. She's extraordinary. And, we talked a lot about the classical world and how that was going to be such a big, profound thing for Mila, because she's grown up with it and she's so passionate about it. And also it's the language that her and her mother use together when they no longer have any words. Originally Rita wrote it to have the song Quartet for the End of Time, which we decided not to go with that. That was in the play. But Amanda just came up with these other beautiful pieces of composition. And then we mixed that with, Australian artists and world music of Gideon's sort of musical collection that he opens her up to, and also her own ideas of what her music is and what she's feeling in those different scenes. And of course the night out is like one long music video. In many ways it's just wall-to-wall music after only having diegetic music in the first part of the film pretty much. But my editor, Steve Evans, is also an incredibly passionate lover of music, and he did My Killing Eve ep with me actually as well, and we talk so much about music. And Jess Moore, our music supervisor, all of us collaborate, and we come up with Spotify playlists that we play all the time in pre-production, and we talk about it. And then I use pieces on set on the day. So like for the night out, the Tune Yard song was playing.
Oh wow.
And same with when she's dancing at Gideon's, because I think the reason, the music really soars for people is when there is a genuine connection on the day. I don't think you can redo that in post. There are other interesting things you can do in post. Like, for example, when Mila's dancing in The Chemist, she said, I want Toby to pick the song for me to dance to. And I was like, great. And he picked, Twist and Shout, which obviously we were never going to be able to use, but it gave it that energy, which was awesome. And then I could put the classical music on it later, and it just, that juxtaposition was great. So that kind of stuff is really fun. But I do think when you're saying that this character is having a genuinely kind of spiritual experience with the music, you've got to have it. And because it affects the camera team. Like, Andy moved very specifically for all the incredible lighting cues that we were trying to hit as she went through the night out, but also because he was in tune with her and the music.
The rhythm, yeah.
Yeah, it's so important.
The connection as an audience member watching the story at that moment where they play, Anna and Mila play together. Is it Emiliano Emiliano? Is it called Aqua?
Oh, the song?
Yeah.
Actually, that's an Amanda Brown composition.
Is it a
piece.
Composition? Okay,
yeah.
I tried to sort of...
It.
Oh, wow, really, Jesus, God, it's so beautiful.
She's amazing.
It's almost like someone's kind of massaging your heart almost in a way whilst that moment's happening. It's no words are required.
Oh my gosh, you're going to have to put that down so that she can read that. That's such a beautiful description. Like, that's amazing. She will absolutely,
got to my core that it was just like, wow. You know, it's that thing of things you can't say to your mum, that with this performance, everything they wanted to say to each other was said. It's just like, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I can't wait to see what's next that you're going to make next, sort of thing, because this has been just a beautiful experience, and particularly where, you know, I'm craving new cinema. I'm craving kind of watching brilliant productions, and Babyteeth is just, it just was gorgeous. So huge congratulations, Shannon. And do you know what's next? Are you working on your next project, or?
Look, you know, I'd love to say I'm working on my next film, but I just don't have one yet. And I don't write material. I really strive to be an interpreter. I don't want to write the words. I mean, I involve myself in, like, you know, director's passes, but honestly, like, writers' jobs is so hard. I just, hats off to them. So no, I haven't found the feature yet, but I'm going to go on to The Power, which is a British production by Sisters Pictures, who made Chernobyl. It's their next big show.
Great.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Yeah.
Well, listen, I hope that we get the chance to chat again about that, and we can also talk about, obviously, Killing Eve at that time as well, but we run out of time today. But thank you so much, and huge congratulations again. It's just, it's a beautiful film. I think you've done an amazing job.
Oh, thanks, Edith. That's really lovely.
The wicked Shannon Murphy. I felt like I'd known Shannon for ages. She was so easy to talk to. Please go and check out Babyteeth now in cinemas. It's really fabulous, and you'd be supporting the industry, helping the industry get back on its feet if you did. Also, please do go and watch last week's episode of this little YouTube show that I'm putting together with the wonderful Jessica Swale and Gemma Arterton talking about their film Summerland, and it may well be still out in cinemas, so please do go and support that as well. And what's been lovely as well is for the last 2 weeks, this show has been fully focused on female directors, which is brilliant. I'm so proud of the fact that we can do that. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this show. There'll be a button somewhere where you can do that, and we've got loads of great stuff coming up over the coming weeks. Going to be diving into some music. Going to be speaking to a member of Arcade Fire about their debut, their solo work. Also, fingers crossed, Shannon Murphy as well, who's got a new album coming out that I am a massive fan of, and also the director of this new take on Pinocchio, Matteo. Very much looking forward to chatting to him, so you'll see and hear that over the coming weeks. The podcast is also available, soundtracking. We're kind of in the middle of 2 episodes at the minute, so Dan Scanlen was last week from Pixar, celebrating Pixar Fest, which is happening for the whole of August. And then coming up this coming Friday, Terence Blanchard, the legendary fantastic musician, composer, educator, all things. Terence Blanchard is going to be the guest on this week's show. So head to your usual podcast provider, search for Soundtracking, and please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I much appreciate you taking the time and for giving me your ears and your eyes on our little show. I love doing this. I'm loving learning new skills, and also just being able to share with you some stuff that I'm really passionate about. So you've got a lot to do. Babyteeth, Summerland, subscribe to this, subscribe to the podcast, but in the meantime, look after yourself and stay safe.